I missed out on Melville and Emily Dickinson then, and I went back to them not too long ago. Uh, I wish I had known more about Melville then, uh, but we'll talk more about it. I got lucky. I came across this book in Norman Public Library. It's a transcript of Bill Moyer's talks with a group of thoughtful people in 1988, and it's wonderful. You should definitely take a look at it. As you know, I bought this from library sale for you, and of course there was volume two, and again, awesome. This all happened pretty much within a year or two of each other, so I got really lucky. Power of Myth with Bill Moyers was aired on PBS. I caught only one episode as they were airing it, so I went back and checked out the book, the videos, and started reading some of his work. And I've enjoyed him since. Uh, this is the transcript of a 13-part lecture he did, Transformations of Myth Through Time. Uh, this is his biography, and I actually read this book when it had just come out. Norman Library had it, and I think it was the same exact book. So I got that. And next thing was, like I said, the Federalist Papers. Uh, it was some other edition. I just bought this a few years ago, but definitely important work of political philosophy. Uh, then I started reading the writings of Tom Paine, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, John Adams, George Washington, and a few of the other founders, and Ben Franklin, actually. Um, he was fascinating. Now, this is I think it's the Library of America edition. Uh, make sure I'm not misspeaking. Yeah, Library of America. So obviously this wasn't the one I looked at, but uh, I would go to the OU library and they'd have collection of their writings, and I would go through as much of it as I could. But the way I did it was when they were talking about Madison being in the Constitutional Convention, I would go and read all the letters that going back and forth between him and Jefferson, who was in Paris. So, and the same thing during different epochs of their life. It's very important to do that. I cannot emphasize it enough that writing those letters is just awesome. This is like one of the first books on the Constitutional Convention. This is a little dated now. There's newer books that are plenty of research behind them, better written real well. This was just a good story. So there's newer, better works that one can go to. This was a gift to me by one of our booksellers. I think the reason he gave it to me is because I heard David McCullough on C-SPAN say he was working on a book on intertwining lives of John Adams, Abigail Adams, and Thomas Jefferson. Now, having read a lot of their letters between, especially John Adams and Jefferson, uh, I said he's going to win a Pulitzer Prize because he's a good writer, and there's just those that correspondence is awesome. He decided to just cut it down to John Adams, and he still won the Pulitzer Prize. Uh, I think on another work, on Truman maybe. But anyways, it was interesting that I kind of knew it was coming to that. Uh, Now, remember Gordon Wood, my favorite line out of one of my favorite movies, Good Will Hunting, the bar scene, where he says you could have learned all of this for your late charges in the library for $1.50. Interestingly enough, I found the great book, the Norton Anthology, for $1 in the library sale. That very, very sweet part of my life, I should say. This collection of essays is definitely important. Talks about how the founders saw fame and how they saw themselves, and how they wanted posterity to remember them. So this is one of the many books that I looked